Hi, my name is Paweł Gajda and I'm an Android developer currently working at Connect Medica, and I would like to share my experience with Kotlin, tell you why it is becoming slowly my primary language for Android development. And I would like to start from a simple question, what Kotlin is, and actually it's not a catch-up. Yes. Well, I've just said that it's a programming language, but the best definition I found is on official Kotlin language website. Statically typed programming language for the JVM and the browser. Statically typed because we know about types on during compile time, in comparison to, for example, Groovy, which is dynamically typed. It's for the JVM because Kotlin source is compiled to Java bytecode in version 6, so it's useful for Android, and the browser because it might be compiled to JavaScript as well. What's most important, it's 100% interoperable with Java, and I'll talk about it later. So let's start Kotlin. Because Kotlin is because Android development. You Android developers mainly develop in Java. Java is a major used language. I decided to talk about syntax of Kotlin in comparing it to Java syntax. I hope it might be better visible, but
it's good.
Okay. Okay, so. Here you can see an example of some basic Android activity called in Java and in Kotlin, and it does the same. There is a simple text view, and we are passing some text to it. So let's look at some basic syntax differences. In Kotlin, there are optional semicolons. We like it. They're optional, so there is no error where we are using them, but actually there is no reason to use them. So in Kotlin there is a fun keyword before a method name instead of Java-like return type, and a return type goes in the end of method signature after a colon before curly braces. Here you don't see it because it's implicit, because onCreate method doesn't return anything. Actually, in Kotlin, it returns a unit, and it might be implicit. That's why you don't see it. Okay, in Kotlin, everything is object. There are no primitive types. Because, in Java bytecode, it's converted to primitive types, but we don't need to care about these primitive types, and it's better. I will talk about it later when talking about extension functions. And I think it's in each other modern language. Okay, when you are declaring properties in Kotlin, there are var and val keywords. And it's also, I think you are familiar with it because it's very out of other modern languages. And of course, var stands for variable and mutable variables, and val stands for values and read-only. There is a string templates expression in Kotlin. In Java, we had to cope with string format static method. Now it's a more smart way to put some expressions that return strings inside string literal. There is no new keyword in Kotlin. Actually, when we are executing, when we are creating a new object, we are just invoking a constructor. So constructor is just a normal function, and actually when we are thinking about functional programming, sometimes we think about functions as objects, and I think it's more universal. And it eliminates boilerplate code. Let's look at singleton implementation in Java and in Kotlin. In Java, we have multiple usages, implementations of singleton using statics or no statics. And even invoke is simpler. When you see in bottom right corner, it's hard to read, but we need to execute some static method to access instance of singleton. In Kotlin, it's built-in. We have an object keyword instead of a class keyword before a class name. Java beans. When we are talking about models in Java, we need to create accessors, constructors, overloaded. We need to override to string sometimes method hash code and so on. And see, we have here one class, 4 members, and so much boilerplate code. Well, that's too much boilerplate code. We need to fight with it. So Kotlin comes with data classes. Data classes automatically generates accessors equals hash code to string methods, and of course we can override them, but it's fast. And what's more, you can see that here there aren't curly braces when we don't add our implementation to class. It's redundant. I talked about syntax, now about key features for Android. There are many features of Kotlin, but I focused on those useful in Android development. Null safety. It's, I think, very important when we cope with null pointer exceptions. It's a tool to fight with such exceptions. In Kotlin, we can put objects in 2 groups, objects that cannot be null and objects that can be null. And objects that cannot be null are called, can hold nullable references. And in this example, you can see that there is a title 1 and title 2 objects, and title 1 is a not null holder. And we are trying to initialize it with a null reference. And there will be a compilation error. We need to use a special a question mark operator to define a null label reference, and it's fine. Same with safe calls. When we want to access members of such null label receiver, we need to put a question mark. Because if we access object that can be null, in Java, there will be a null pointer exception. And in Kotlin, such object will hold a null. So a C2 object will receive a compilation error because we are trying to access member, invoke a method get first char, and actually the string is null, so in Java it will broke our code. Okay. For null safety, there might be a case that we have a null label reference and we want to access a lot of members at one time, and we don't want to use this redundant question mark operators. So that's why smart casts exist. After explicit check, we can, using if, tell compilator to don't check it again because we know that title is not null. And inside this if scope, we don't need to put question mark again. Compiler knows about it, it tracks this information, and it's good. For null safety, there are some other useful operators, such as this operator when we want to use a different value instead of when our expression is returning null. And in top example, there are 2 lines which does the same using if expression. If is expression in Kotlin, so it also can return an object. There is also a double exclamation mark operator for null pointer exception lovers, if there are some, so if we are sure that some object is not null, but we are receiving a nullable object, we can use this operator. However, it's not preferred, but we are having a not null object. There are also safecasts that helps fighting with class cast exception because they return null instead of throwing exception. Okay, there are getters and setters. We can initialize property, define getter and setter. Of course, all our it might be implicit and omitted. Only we need to put return type if it can be inferred, and that's nice. That's why we don't need to use Java beans in Kotlin. Delegates. It's a good alternative to inheritance in Kotlin. We can, thanks it, delegate some initialization to another object, and Kotlin provides some standard delegates, like delegates lazy, delegates not null. And in this example, you can see there's a text view and a toolbar defined using these delegates. Why it's useful here? Because if we would like to have access in activity scope to these components, we would need to define them as nullable references. With delegates, we can say that they're not null, but we can't initialize it now. We know that we can do it in onCreate method when a layout is inflated and we have access to these components. So that's really cool, but I will talk about another feature of library that simplifies it much more. Okay, there are optional and named arguments. It's useful because we don't need to overload methods like in Java. Same for constructors. So named arguments are also useful because we can omit arguments we don't want to pass. And you can see an example of method invokes in the bottom. Lambdas. Kotlin supports lambdas. We can pass lambdas to as in argument list. Here you can see example of sending a message via messages API between a handheld and variable. And we are having a callback, which is a lambda, a function literal. And in foo method, there are 3 possibilities of invoking that method. Because when lambda is last argument in argument list, we can put it out of arguments list in the end of method signature. And there is a third example using a function as a property, because function is treated as just a specific type in Kotlin, and it might be as well declared as a variable. Extension functions are, I think, a very, very cool feature for Kotlin. Here you can see example from my Kotlin library for Android. can draw it, and you can see here. Okay, what about extension functions? We can extend type and type and statically add methods to this type, and so we can extend type using a function prefixed by type we extend. Yes, and that's useful because it eliminates boilerplate code. We need to pass the object of specified type to argument list. It's useful, especially for listeners when we cannot create lambdas because there are too many methods, because lambdas are created automatically when there is only one method in interface. So here I'm extending function for onQuery change. There are two methods, onQuery change and onQuery text submit. And I'm creating callback for onQuery text change. I think it's nice. There is also a small feature very usable in library and framework development for Android, type aliases. We can alias types we import to our class, and for example, it's usable when we have fragments from support library and from standard app library. Now I'd like to talk about Java interop more. Since Kotlin milestone 11, we are able to put Java and Kotlin code in one place. Before that milestone, we had to put it in separated directory under sources called Kotlin, or as we named it. Now it's in one place, so it's it's better now to create projects that are implemented using both Java and Kotlin. Here you can see there are three classes in Kotlin with a Kotlin icon in bottom right corner, and three classes in Java. Calling Java code in Kotlin is very easy. We have access to all Java classes and packages. Here we are creating an array list object from standard Java package, and there are some also extension methods on this type. First called first, taking a lambda as argument, and the next is to uppercase. Also, Kotlin standard library consists of very useful extension functions. Kotlin comes with some conversions. Each lambda might be converted to interface with a single method. And you can see here are two example codes, and there is first example without some conversion and with some conversion. So it also eliminates boilerplate code. Calling Kotlin in Java is very clever in Kotlin because it supports also package level functions and function extensions. So such functionalities that we could think are unable to convert for Java. But as I said at the beginning of this presentation, Kotlin is 100% interoperable with Java. So let's look at some example of extension method DP, which converts pixels to density independent pixels, and it's located in package level, so it's not inside class. In Kotlin it's possible, and we have invoke in Java utils package .dp taking another argument because it's extension function, and in Java we don't have such functionality. the type which is extended is the first type in converted method in Java. And what about package level functions which don't have class? There is a special class named after the package name. So there we had a compa vgo kfa utils package, and it created a utils package class for that. And that's nice. Kotlin Android Extensions is another plugin for Android development, which simplifies Android development. And I told you that there's a better way than delegations to bind our layout components. So that's it. As you can see, we have a text view, and there is no initialization of this object. Actually, it's done like in butter knife and some other injection libraries. Not like, because it's better done, because how it works under the hood. There is Kotlin X Android synthetic. This framework, this library is creating in compile time caching function and property using extension functions, and after that magic we have access to all layout components named after component IDs. And in another file, in XML file, we have text view with ID text view. And that's why we have access to it. You can see is under the hood it's extension function. Okay, there's also another framework, a big project on GitHub called Anko. It's also maintained by JetBrains team. And it provides ability to define layouts using Kotlin DSL language. Since the dawn of the mankind, we created XMLs, layouts in XMLs, but it is not tab safe. It provides, it is not error safe, yes. It is not null safe, and we note that XMLs are a not good idea to they're loaded to our CPU memory, and for smart devices, it's not a good performance decision. So Kotlin provides a Kotlin library. Anko provides ability to use DSL for that. As you can see, there is no, or as you might see if you, there is no set content view method. There is just a structure combined of a type safe builders and extension functions. There is a vertical layout inside. There's edit text, a button, and on-click listener. Okay, so that's it. So why Kotlin for Android? We have Scala, Groovy, Ceylon. In Scala, moreover, we have Scaloid, which is functionality is similar to Anko. It also allows us to use DSL for layouts. To answer this question, I would like you to look at these numbers. I'll try to look. Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes, it's one of the major arguments why to use Kotlin. When we are talking about smart devices, we are talking about mobile memory, mobile storage. We must care about size. We must care about size. Size matters here, and I think everybody who built application, few applications in Android knows that there is 65,000 method count limit, and for single dex file, and when we exceed it, we need to use another dex file, multi-dex configuration, but it comes to many bugs and increases the compilation time. So we should avoid it. And we can see here that Kotlin runtime and Kotlin standard library deck size is 1 megabyte. And let's look at Scala library. Deck size is 5 megabytes. Groovy has 4.5 megabytes. And let's look at method count. Kotlin has 6,000 method count, and Scala has 50,000 megabytes, 50,000 method count. So when we have a limit, we must care about it. We often add Google Play services library or some another retrofit or support libraries at it matters. This is actually from using project Kotlin for Android by Jack Wharton. These numbers are attached to, I think, every Kotlin presentation for Android. So more, there's not only that. Kotlin is developed by JetBrains. So if you use IntelliJ IDEA or Android Studio, I think that's a very good argument for using Kotlin. And it compiles at least as fast as Java. And I think it's true. Any drawbacks, of course, you can think about what's wrong. Well, we are still waiting for Kotlin 1.0. We have now milestones, and next milestones provide so many changes without a code cleanup built-in IDE, it will be too difficult to maintain our code. Also, Andrzej Breslav from JetBrains said 2 years ago, but I think it's still actual, that only very brave souls are using Kotlin for production now. But I'm a brave soul, and I hope you also will become after this presentation. Some resources, Kotlin official website, frameworks for Android, there's Anko for DSL languages, there's also my library, which consists mainly of extension functions for Android, Candroid, and some MISC, Kotlin dev links, some usable stuff for community links, and so on. So thank you. It's now time for questions, if you have.
Sure that you can pass a function as an argument, and that is the type safe.
Yes.
Is it checked only that is function passed, or also function arguments that are passed are also checked?
Function.
If you can you pass two arguments function as if the function
inside
like
function?
One argument function.
Yes, we can pass as many functions as arguments.
I mean, if the function signature is checked,
yes.
it matches.
Okay.
Because if the function inside, except that the argument is a function with one argument.
Okay.
Easy to check at compile time that you passed the function with one argument, not with.
Okay. So lambda is function literal, and it's an anonymous class, anonymous type. So there is only checked arguments which are put into the lambda, and the returning expression type. Yes. So I think that's it.
So it will be a compile error to pass the function with wrong odd number.
Yes.
Why is the syntax so suspiciously similar to Swift?
I think there's. Yes, I think it's similar to Scala, to Groovy, to Clojure, to many modern languages. I think it's not bad to get some best stuff from other languages. But it's a good question, yes.
Yeah, I had a question about languages over Scala, but let's assume that we don't have these technical restrictions like amount of methods, memory, and so on. What about performance, Kotlin versus Scala, for example?
Well, I didn't check it. I based on this table, I think, but.
Okay, what would you prefer, Scala or Kotlin, if we don't have these restrictions?
I would choose Kotlin because Scala I think is too difficult. Sometimes we need to debug Scala to know what's inside the code, what that code means. For me, Kotlin is very easy syntax, and I think the main idea is to eliminate boilerplate code, but still code in Java-like style.
Okay, so does Kotlin support true template types or generic types, or is it plugged like a Java with the type erasure thing? They have the true templates that are not erased during compile
True
time?
templates? What?
Yeah, generic. I mean, if I would like to create an array of strings,
Okay.
for example, is the type of this preserved during compile time, and I can check during the runtime, is it the array of strings or array of ints, or is it erased like in Java?
I think that's all takes place in compilation time because it's
So I suppose,
statically typed language. So
yeah, but I mean, we have two types, yeah?
Okay.
Basically, array of strings is something different than array of ints. These are
Yes.
separate types. And does Kotlin knows which type in the runtime? Which type is it, or does it know only about array? It's like an array of objects, like in Java. Do you know it?
Does it,
Well,
does it
I
extend
don't know.
runtime in Java?
it uses actually Java types, yes, because
Okay,
so it's all converted. I said that there are no primitive types, but actually this int type is these all types are optimized. So I think it's done this way.
It's kind of covariance and covariance in Scala.
Okay, any more questions?
Google is working on a new compiler, Jack and Jill, and now it's experimental, but one day it will be probably official. And do you know if they plan to support other languages like Java? Because if not, what will happen to those projects written in Kotlin, Ruby,
Yes.
that will use some kind of a deprecated compiler?
Yes, the major problem is that we need to use Java 6 for Android development, and I think it would be a good way for Google to pick up Kotlin. They're tried with Go language, and we are waiting for what will happen.
So do you think that on the next Google I/O that will...
There will be a Kotlin, yes. I was one of those who, when everybody coded using Eclipse, I used IntelliJ IDEA, and I couldn't believe when they created Android Studio based on IntelliJ IDEA. I think they know that JetBrains is a great, so great company. They can use Kotlin as well because they used IntelliJ.
what's inside runtime?
Well, too complicated question. I'm just a happy client and user of Kotlin.
According to the question with the array of strings,
Yes?
I hope that Kotlin support generic types.
Yes, of course.
Does the Kotlin holds the information about the type which is
Parameterization.
yeah,
It was exactly the question of
yeah, but I didn't have an answer for exactly this question. So, does the Kotlin hold the information about parameterized type, or does it arise like Java?
Well, as I said, I think it's all optimized, and finally it's the best Java type, generic type.
Okay, so probably there is no way to access to this parameterized type in runtime, yeah?
Yes, probably. So thank you.